Hello, I'm Shannon Lloyd. I wanted to create a message that will be specific for those who are really living into the idea of thriving in a successful company in today's market, and also understanding how that will affect every part of their life, and indeed how every part of their life can be used in service of creating a successful company that can thrive in today's market. Now, what's interesting about this opportunity, and why I'm very excited to be engaged in this, is that creating a business is really something that will involve kind of all the spokes of the wheel of your life, and is the personal as well as the financial and your health and well-being. And indeed, it's a holistic approach I've seen that really succeeds with people who are very successful in this area. I wanted to talk a little bit about myself. What I am very proud of is that I have been creating businesses ever since I graduated from UCLA Film School in 2002. Now, I have to laugh because some of those businesses were kind of cute. One of them was called $300 Movie. Right out of film school, I'd make anybody's video for $300. Now, this was back in 2002 when, for the first time, people could actually shoot movies and edit them themselves with the new digital technology. Now, what this led to is a career in online video production, and there were a lot of adventures in this. But what also was part of the picture was, between very exciting and wonderful jobs, I would start up businesses. And those businesses all had various levels of success, but what really set them apart was they were amazing opportunities to learn exactly what worked and what didn't work with whatever conditions were at the time, including all those within who I was as a person and my own personal development. So I want to just speak to an overall philosophy that I wanted to bring forward. And this philosophy is to use everything for your upliftment and growth. And what that really requires is a personal responsibility outlook and way of living into every single aspect of doing your business that creates win-win situations with all of the clients, all of the stakeholders, all of your associates, your employees, your customers, and also your competitors. It's one of Stephen Covey's laws of success. What successful people do to really succeed is a win-win mentality. And how this connects with using everything for your upliftment and growth is that you begin to regard errors or mistakes as rungs on the ladder of success. And with this mentality of even welcoming errors, and with that particular outlook, having the courage to very strategically, with all the resources that you can create, continue to move forward with a lot of courage and utilizing great resources and understanding where those resources are, but also being very wise in that any setbacks that you may perceive are immediately things that you welcome and you leverage into an idea of creating an even greater success ratio. Now, I want to use my own business as a example, and also to bring forward some very real world examples of how this will look in practice, and also just to talk a little bit about what is really successful in creating a very large-scale business. I want to qualify myself with this to talk about some of the people that I've worked with and some of the companies that I've been part of. I've been part of very fast-growing businesses that went big very quickly, one of which actually imploded. But when a business gets that big, it was an online company. It was a social media platform that became very huge. It was the fastest growing one on the planet at the time. They ran Kardashians, and it was social media. It was pop culture and music. And through some kind of corporate diversification strategies that I was not privy to, it kind of dissolved. But what was very instructional about this is I was able to observe as one of the founding members how the leaders of that company succeeded or did not succeed in that particular growth model. And with what I've created, and with the clients I work with, who also are, my own coach is a very seasoned leadership coach. His name is Clay Cutts. And also I've worked with Inali Cessna and Mike Murphy. Mike Murphy was the CEO of Nestle's, and him and his wife Inali have created an amazingly powerful leadership program based on the Enneagram. And the wisdom that I've been able to create with these, by working with these associates, these cohorts, and sometimes clients, have been to actually see in the real world what works, and what works not only with practical measures, but with things that may be described as manifestation techniques, or just nuts and bolts coaching tactics, such as affirmations, such as productivity specific strategies where you really create amazing results on a day-to-day basis using specific productivity strategies. But more specific to what I was originally speaking of is that when you have this mentality of welcoming challenges, you are able to create very bold decisions. And these bold decisions are based upon a combination of your instinct, which becomes very finely honed the more you develop it, and your ability to discern things like when you delegate and when you actually perform something yourself, especially if you're creating companies through bootstrapping strategies, or even if you're doing it in investment models where you're bringing in stakeholders such as angel investors. You have this attunement that you can actually work on. You can actually work on building your intuition. And using that very powerful tool in your toolbox, you're able to really create a structure of growth and connecting also with the original source of your passion for building a business. And also, it seems to call forward a lot of powerful support options with people who you connect with. And I've really seen miracles happen. I'm kind of spreading some options forward just to kind of tell you a little bit about how I work with people. And it's just a wonderful thing to kind of consider. The true power that you have as a business owner is the humility to really be okay with not knowing, but be bold and fearless with your actions, knowing that indeed everything does support you, and that if everything is for your upliftment and growth, truthfully, you may have what are perceived as positive or negative results, but truthfully, you can really make no wrong decisions. What you can do is you can decide to bring forward your natural resilience, your natural gifts, and your natural humility to move forward through whatever happens. I promised you a real-world example with a company that I had created, and I'm still running. It's One Field Media, LLC. We call it One Field now, and how we got through the pandemic. And this was an interesting time. I had a healthcare diagnosis that has been an incredible gift because it put me in what would be considered dire straits, both with the pandemic's effect of I ran live events. so immediately there was an opportunity to pivot and to create something new in the field. At the same time, I was experiencing the need to have surgery, the need to have radical and aggressive treatment for this condition. And it truly was an opportunity to fall into all the methods I kind of briefly touched upon, and especially surrendering and connecting with my intuition and strategically asking for support and connecting with my own inner wisdom to support both my healing and making the decisions on how to run my business, how to bring on employees, at what point to bring on employees, at what point to decide on a fundraising strategy, and at what point to decide that to harness innovation by living your life holistically in a way that you have an ability to harness creativity that seems to come out of nowhere. And it really doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes out of doing wonderful exercises, wonderful coaching techniques, connecting with coaches, connecting with mentors, and suddenly you're in the shower and my goodness, there's the solve. Why don't we just go ahead and repurpose this product to support this particular market? And you're excited. You get out of the shower and you don't even wait for the next day. You harness the point of action, the passion and the point of action to sit down and create something, maybe into the wee hours of the night. And lo and behold, something has occurred and you have a new direction. And I've been going 6 years strong. Yes, 6 years strong with this company. And it's evolved in all sorts of ways. It's grown in ways I wouldn't have never expected. It's failed in ways I never would have imagined. But overall, what has happened is a certain longevity and a certain growth structure, and also attrition at certain points of time, kind of a diminishment of revenues and a need to pivot yet again, that have allowed me to really step into my role as a coach and a leader in ways that continue to just delight and inspire me. Anyway, I hope you had a great time listening to this. And also, if you've been able to just take a minute and connect with this exercise, is just do some breathing and just empty your thoughts out. And then just connect with your original purpose of what it would look like as a perfect manifestation of your unbridled joy and that original reason for creating your business, and just forward project a vision of what this would look like. Forward project how this would manifest in every single detail, using the strategy of everything just being 50% believable with everything, but also stretching as to what is possible and living into the joy of this and imagining every detail as you connect with your breathing. And just enjoy this exercise.